Hello, I'm Buster Baxter, and you're watching a podcast where nostalgia comes alive. It's Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. Roll it!
Welcome to Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, where nostalgia comes alive. Join Jake and his friends on a journey through pop culture of the past, where they interview professionals in the worlds of acting, directing, writing, puppeteering, and so much more. Who will they be chatting with today? Find out in this Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episode.
Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, where nostalgia comes alive. I'll be here with us. Thank you for joining. As always, I'm your host, Jake Duffenbaugh. With me today, as always, our co-host, they've seen that y'all know what I'm talking about. Chris Bixby, how's it going?
Doing good, doing good. Hello, everybody. How are you, Jake?
Doing great as always, Chris. Thank you for asking. And the show we're about to witness very shortly. We've had a lot of fun. We got to chat, the person, a lot of involvement in the music-wise for a lot of, kids' TV and, Sonar and a lot of other things. But I'm not the one introducing. Chris, what do we have for today?
Yes, thank you, Jake. Today we had the great pleasure of speaking with composer and music supervisor Jeff Zahn. Jeff is best known for composing for numerous animated TV series and films. Some of his most notable projects include Caillou, Wimzie's House, Arthur, and Spookley the Square Pumpkin. You'll be hearing us talk about these and many more projects with Jeff, so you're definitely in for a treat. Enjoy our chat.
Yes. See you then. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, the podcast where nostalgia comes alive.
Yes, for today's episode, we're pleased to welcome Jeff Zahn. Jeff, happy to have you here. How are you?
My pleasure to be with you guys.
Our pleasure to have you.
Likewise. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, so to kick this off, could you tell our audience, I guess, a little bit about yourself and the type of work you do?
Absolutely. And you guys have to be incredibly polite and stop me. I am from New York and we'll keep going until you say stop. So my name is Jeff Zahn. I grew up in Brooklyn and then Long Island, New York. My parents loved music. My father was a professional musician and I loved it too, but I was really into sports. Sports was my baseball and tennis. I was a ranked tennis player, but I played an instrument called cello. Cello's a big string instrument and I was
Right.
good at it. I was really good at it, enough to be like ranked in New York State. And in the United States, I went to Boston University to study cello. But my first love was writing music. If I wanted to go on a date, I wrote a girl a love song, and I do very well. But I played cello, but because I was good at it, I graduated and said, what am I going to do with my career? The easiest path for me was to play cello to make money. So I started playing cello, what's called a studio cellist, playing for people like old people would know, Sinatra, groups like Earth, Wind and Fire, Diana Ross.
Yeah, of course.
So I started playing cello around the world and I loved it, but it wasn't my real passion. My passion was writing music. So while I played cello, I was in Africa with a woman named Shirley Bassey that did James Bond movies, Goldfinger. And the guy says, you want to play on Broadway? Broadway? Nah, not really. Well, why don't you play on Broadway? What's the show about? It's about cats. What is a show about cats? I know other shows, but Les Mis and Phantom of the Opera. How long can it last? He goes, a couple of months. It's about cats, written by a famous guy. So terrific. I'll play a show about cats. It ended up that show became really famous. Andrew Lloyd Webber was the composer, and it ran for 18 years. And I stayed with the show and loved it. But it gave me the opportunity to follow my passion of writing. So I'm a Jewish guy, and the quickest way to make music is in New York in the 80s was to write what's called gospel music. I met another Jewish guy. We wrote gospel music. We sold a couple songs to gospel artists, and an actor heard one of the songs and said, wow, that's a really great song. I'm going to be a special guest on a show called Who's the Boss? You guys are too young, but it was a very famous show with Tony Danza.
I've heard of it, yeah, Tony Danza,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
And the guy named Ray Charles, again, a little old for you guys.
Yeah. Ray Charles, yeah, of
He's
course.
going to be the special guest. Can he sing your song? What's it called? It's called Always a Friend. It was kind of religious, but it could be anything. Ray Charles sang my song that I wrote with a friend, my first song ever on a famous show. It became a big
That's
hit.
awesome.
People loved it. It became a wedding song. You're always a friend, someone I believe in. And I became a music writer. Fast forward, I live in New York City and I work at a recording studio. And there's a very famous guy named Joe Raposo. He was a music
Yeah, of course.
Joe is a music director for a show called Sesame Street.
Mm-hmm.
Joe
Of
One of the
likes,
one of
course.
the originals.
I mean,
Yes.
Joe
Yeah,
wasn't.
such a talented man.
He wrote songs like
The
"Being
theme. Yeah.
Sing Sing
Yeah,
Song,"
and
all those great songs. He liked me because I was very classically trained. I studied at Boston University, and I'm a nice guy from Brooklyn. He's a nice guy from the Bronx. I became a writer for his company. Long story short, gets into the gist of this. He got ill and passed away, but I worked for his company, and the company said, "Look, Joe does so many famous kid shows. Jeff, we love your writing. Will you write for Joe? Become his ghostwriter because he passed away." Sure, what's the name of the show? It was a show called Madeline. Madeline was a very famous show going back in the 80s, and they asked me to write some songs. The company called Sinar, which is a very famous company, said, "Who's this guy, Jeff Zahn? Does he write well? You know what? We'll test him. Write a song just for the hell of it. We'll see if we like it." For the show. The woman's name was Judy Rothman, who I think you interviewed.
Judy, yeah,
Yes,
she's
yeah.
wonderful.
The
Yeah.
wonderful person who helps kind of connect us. She's awesome.
Yeah, and previous guest too.
She
She's
wrote the
wonderful.
lyrics, brilliantly talented woman.
Oh,
People
yeah.
have different styles of writing. Judy likes to write, if you're a musician out there listening, she writes the whole song and she gives you the lyric. And in music, I like to talk about music. There are people like Elton John that wrote with a guy named Bernie Taupin. Bernie Taupin wrote every lyric and he gives it to Elton John and he writes everything like that. There are guys like Billy Joel that don't care about lyrics. They write anything they want. They write instead of, it's crazy. Paul McCartney, instead of yesterday, was scrambled eggs. How I like your beautiful legs. So they reverse it. Judy likes to write ahead. And I love that. She gave me the words to a song called Wishes, Never Give Up on Wishes. The company hated every demo I did. They hated it. That's not Joe. No, this is for a little girl named Madeline. She's an orphan. And Rubber Duckies for Sesame Street. They're different songs. Long story short, I wrote
Yeah.
so many versions of that. Finally, they had no choice. They brought me up there. I was arguing, fighting. I'm not the right guy for you guys. Why don't you get somebody from New York? I'll recommend Alan Menken, who's doing another show. Um, the owner of the company said, "What are you fighting about? Jeff, what do you think? The first song I sent you was the best song. It was great. What's wrong with it?" "Well, the singer was a little older. You should try this song." Long story short, I went downstairs, I recorded it, became a big hit, Never Give Up on Wishes. The company Sinar says, "We love this. This is fantastic." I became the music director of a company called Sinar. That's where I got my fame and my acclaim and my career. They liked me enough to let me live in New York. And the next show that came up was a lovely show you might have heard of called Bunch of Munch, which was written about Robert Munch. Then they came to me with other shows and they let me live in New York and go up there. So fast forward, they made a deal with a woman that ran a company called PBS and you met probably them, Ken Scarborough, Joe Fallon, great writers.
Yeah, Ken, yeah.
Had a show called Arthur. Would you like to be music director for a show called Arthur? What is it? It's about a cartoon with a guy with a nose and glasses and funny glasses. Okay, great, let's start. And the first task was to write a theme song. So as music director, my job with companies is to get different people to write theme songs. So it's called a demo and it's a process. So I
Right.
got like 10 people and one woman and a partner, Jerry DeVilliers and Judy Henderson, wrote this. We gave them the task, write a reggae song with a really uplifting beat, write lyrics about being, everything, it's a sunny day, it's beautiful, just an open, beautiful anthem, led by a woman named Carol Greenwald. And the song that came out was wonderful. The demo was so good, was incredibly good for the show called Arthur. I'm the music director. They said, "Jeff, your job is to get the singer. We're going to want to hire a guy named Ziggy Marley, very famous reggae singer."
Yep.
They said, "Jeff, here's your problem. We're sending you down to Jamaica and you got a check for $20,000 to give this guy. You better come back with the song Beautiful." Okay, but I got to go to Jamaica? Yes. They send me to Jamaica and I go to Kingston, Jamaica, and I'm a white guy that goes there and I get along with everybody, but they're all Jamaicans smoking, let's say, illegal things. And it was a long day and they were so talented and brilliant and they welcomed me into their world, but they didn't know the song well. So in the morning, they said, "Jeff, you got to sing it." As I said, I don't sing rap. I don't sing every day. I don't know how to do it. But I sang the song really terribly, and the whole day I had the PBS executives there listening to my vocal. It was terrible, but they loved it. They loved it. So Rita Marley, they welcomed me. They were kind. Rohan Marley, all the Marleys come in. Long story is Ziggy, the big star, comes in to sing it. Ziggy, I sent you the demo. Did you learn the song properly? It's a very famous song. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. He goes, I got it. It's perfect, but I got a soccer game. I got a half hour. I go, sing it, Ziggy. He sings the worst version of it. He sang a song that sounded like, I don't know, from The Wizard of Oz. Ziggy, I can't use that. That's terrible. Well, let me try it again. The end of the story is I took his manager out in the back. I said, look, here's a check for $20,000. I got to get on a plane at 5 o'clock. I'm taking the check with me. He's got about 15 minutes to learn the song. Please have him to learn the song. He learned the song. He came up and did it in one take, which is amazing. And that's a song that became an anthem. Every day when you're walking down the street and everybody that you meet has an original point of view. And I say, hey, and he did it in one take because money was the winner for that.
That's crazy.
It was a great day. It was a great series for me. What made the series great, it was really, really smart. And they had a lot of wonderful guests on there. I got to work with great people like Yo-Yo Ma, who's a classical cellist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then they gave me, you guys are young, but you probably know, they said, we got to go to LA and work with a group called the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I love that.
It's only Rock and Roll special. I love
that special.
So I got to go work with them, and I'm pretty well classically trained. And I go out there, and I start by saying, and I want to win them over because I want to do a good job. The executives are there. And I say, guys, here's the sheet music. And they go, Jeff, we don't read music at all. You don't read music? I wrote it out. How do you learn? Well, we just kind of wing it. We just have fun with the song and just wing it. Okay, well, let me just teach you. It goes like, and I talk about music, it's a tritone. Like, think of Maria from West Side Story. They go, Maria, what the heck? Jeff, just leave us alone. It was so hard. Chris, it was so hard, guys. It was just, Jake. So here's what happens. So we start doing it, and the phone keeps interrupting at the session. It's in LA, lots of people there, and big guy was, I forgot, Nick Carter was the big guy. He's gorgeous, and they're just getting together. And I said, Nick, please turn off your phone. Please turn off your phone. It's really stopping the session. I asked him 2, 3 times, and can you please do it? Can I speak to you, Jeff? And I go, I'm about to be fired. Nick Carter takes me in the back of the room. He goes, I haven't been LA in a long time. Guess what? I'm going to see my girlfriend. It's kind of important. It's a booty kind of call. It's really, if you can help me out a little bit. Nick, I got to take a break. Hey, guys, can you give me a 15-minute break? I've got to just get a little water and all that. I try to cover for Nick. After that, he loved me. The session went great. They did a fantastic job. The show went on terrific. It was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. So it was a terrific experience working with the Backstreet Boys. It was a great show, very smart. I helped them with a show that went to Radio City, a live show. I got to help them put that together. It's called Lucky Pencil. I think Ken might have wrote it. I'm not sure, but it was a wonderful live experience. Right in front of me is Robert De Niro, the famous actor. And I go, Robert, I helped write these songs. Aren't you impressed? Can I get your autograph? At the end of the show, can I get your autograph? Absolutely. He didn't care. He walked out, but he liked the show a lot. So I got to do a lot of shows. A couple weeks later, I get a call from the company. We have 2 shows to do, guys. We have a show called Dr. Zargle. Dr. Zargle was an animated show that was brilliant. It's funny. It's from England. It's great. Then a really weird show called Caillou. Caillou, what is Caillou? It's about a little boy that's bald. Well, there's no doubt that the Dr. Zargle was the brilliant show. It was so well done. And Caillou was like a little weak show. It was like Caillou goes and mails a letter. It won't last at all. Can't. I was so wrong. Caillou became a smash, smash, smash hit. The assignment for me was to write a theme song for Caillou. I went upstairs. In 3 to 4 minutes, I wrote a song. I'm just a kid who's 4. Each day I grow some more. I like exploring. I'm Caillou.
Exactly.
You remember this? Each day.
Iconic.
Like, yeah, of course. Yeah. I got to grow up watching that a lot.
I brought it to my
classic theme.
I wrote it. It's a great song. I brought it to my friend that night. I finished recording it in the city, and it was going out in Montreal, and it was going around the country. And my friend says, Jeff, you stole it. I go, what? I wrote that originally. He goes, no, there was a song in the 30s. You know what? Be careful. I did the research. I was lucky enough that it just passed the 75-year mark and it was safe. No one ever knew, but I was always nervous about that song. But it became a major, major, major hit. So I had a glorious time with Sinner writing all these kid songs. If there are any musicians listening to your podcast, it's important to realize that people have different styles of writing. What made me, because I was so well trained, I like to write away from a piano, away from a guitar, because your mind is free. If you go to a guitar or piano, you write whatever you know, because your hands go to those positions. So I got an assignment. Some guys out of New York came and said, we're doing a Scarry show. It's called Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's for Nickelodeon. Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's going to be around a campfire, and everybody's going to get scared. And we need a theme song, but it's instrumental, no vocals. My plane at the airport in Montreal, Dorval, was terribly delayed, and I'm getting madder and madder and madder. I'm going to get home at 11, 12, 1, 2, and I'm sitting there, just, and music, and all of a sudden, guys, the theme just came to me for this Nickelodeon show, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Da, 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 da. And I had a newspaper, and I wrote music paper. I'm allowed to write music. I know how to do it. And I wrote it out, and I wrote the whole song in maybe 6, 7 minutes. A week later, we recorded with a guy named Jeff Fisher, who's a brilliant musician in Montreal, and it became a real, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a great show, Are You Afraid of the Dark? If you have fans out there, it's on Nickelodeon. It's a wonderful, wonderful show. So I really enjoyed that. It's been a glorious career getting to write for all these people. I've been nominated for an Emmy Award as a music director. I think what made me pretty much in demand was that because I'm so well trained, I can work in different idioms. I can work in rock music. I can work in classical. I got to work with people from the San Francisco Opera. I can work with jazz people. I work with Josh Redman. So it's a really terrific. So another story about Caillou is my daughter Lily is a tutor, and she's in New York. And I wrote this theme song, I'm Just a Kid. And a couple of years ago, she's tutoring, talking about the influence of kids. And she hears the guy is doing his work, his homework, but there's headphones on him. And she goes, what are you listening to? And he's a young kid. This is a couple of years ago. Oh, don't even, it's a DJ song. We all use a mashup. We mash up this one song. She goes, it's very familiar. What is it? You never heard of it. It's Caillou. She goes, what? Caillou? It's a kid song. Yeah, all the DJs use it in New York to use as a mashup. 10 people, 12 people listen to it. How many people, guys? Oh, this one's small. It's 12 million. My daughter goes, what? 12 million people live in this mashup of Caillou? Oh, no, there's a lot more. My dad wrote that song. What? How many more? Here's 16. Here's 18. Look it up. This mashup of the Caillou thing, it's used by all these DJs in New York. So obviously as a musician, I call up my agency called ASCAP. Where's my money? I want to buy a limo. I want to buy a Mercedes. It was only like 96 million, and you get like $10 for that. But the point being that the one theme song became so popular, it was really, really quite impressive. Arthur did very well. It led to a spin-off that a lot of people got to see called Postcards from Buster.
Yeah.
Wonderful show. And I got to work about idioms, a guy named Wyclef Jean, who's a brilliant rapper, Wyclef Jean. And here I am, again, I use it, my cultural background, I'm working with a rapper, and he's not getting the lyrics, written by some wonderful people again. And he says, Jeff, you got to sing it. Look at me. I can't sing rap. I'm older and all that. Jeff, you got to sing it. I said, okay, step away. I'll sing it. I sang it for him. He goes, you are the worst singer I've ever heard in my life. He laughs at me and all that. I go, look at me. Why don't you sing a Jewish song like Hava Nagila or something? And he sings it, and he's terrible. And I laugh at him, and we became friends. And he was wonderful. We did Postcards from Buster, and it was a wonderful, wonderful experience.
It's such a wonderful show.
It's a good show. Very smart, same people. Then a friend of mine teaches you about life, that I was truly a music guy. That's what my training was. My friend, best friend in the world, Joe Trano, outside of my wife, is my lyricist. I work a lot with lyrics. And Joe was a landscaper, and Joe was a writer. He was a great lyricist. And one day, guys, he wrote me a poem. He sent me a poem. A poem? What are you sending me a poem about? Just read it. I never read it. So he calls me up and is furious at me for not reading it. All right, what's it about? It's about a square pumpkin. All right, it's a square pumpkin. What's his name? Spookley. And I read the poem. It's pretty good. It's called Spookley the Square Pumpkin. I don't know if you guys ever heard it. It's on the Disney Channel all the time. And I brought it to my lawyer who said, it's wonderful. I can bring it to McDonald's for a premium. I could bring it around. End of the story, it was about his son that was bullied. And it's a square pumpkin that didn't fit in. All the other pumpkins that were round made fun of him.
Right. Yeah.
Because he was square, when a big storm came, he blocked the hole in the fence. And he saved the day, proving it's okay to be different. We don't care if you're white, black, Jewish, this. Just be a good person. We don't care if you're fat, skinny, this. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. Guess what? Disney loved it. It became a movie. And for my career, it gave me the opportunity not just to do music and music supervision, it gave me the opportunity to produce. So I helped with the casting and the recording, and I became, for my career, a producer. So at the same time, our good friend Judy Rothman came to me and says, we have some opportunity with Disney, Jeff. They're doing what's called little interstitials, 2-3 minute songs. I'm doing Spookley. Do you want to do a show called The Shanna Show? And all these cute shows. And I start working for Disney a lot. And they allow me the opportunity to do all these cute animations that help kids. That were really, one of the shows had Mark Hamill from Star Wars in it. It was a great show. I forgot the name. I'll think about it.
Was it
It's
Zayfrong? Tasty Time with Zayfrong.
the Frog. It was a Frog. Yes, Frog. Mark Hamill.
Yes, yeah, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
It's a wonderful, wonderful show. So I get to do these shows, and Judy's been a big help in my career. I've got to give her props. She calls me one day, and there's the Henson people want to do a show called Francis, and I'd love to do it, but it's called stop motion. There are different types in the kids' idiom. Um, Ken Scarborough, they work a lot on animation, but you can do live shows. I've worked on Lassie and live entertainment. Are You Afraid of the Dark is live. You can do animation, and you can do what's called stop motion, where they do frame by frame like puppets. And this was kind of stop motion, and they had puppets in that. And what made it challenging for me is it was all classical music. Who does a show about classical music? They wanted just classical music to make it kind of hip and interesting. So working with Brian and Lisa Henson and Judy Rothman was just such a wonderful opportunity for me.
Yeah,
Those
and Alex Rockwell.
She is phenomenally smart. They are wonderful. So Judy's been a big, so my career expanded. You wear hats, and my hat was, first I was a composer, guys. Then I was a music director working with all these celebrities because they would send me on all the celebrity shows. I got to work for a guy named Art Garfunkel. Art Garfunkel was Simon and Garfunkel. He did a show called Arthur, and his name was Art and Arthur, and he was a wonderful guest. So they sent me out. So I became a music director. Then I became a producer with producing shows like Spookley. Spookley has spun off into other shows. It's been a glorious, glorious ride for me. The people from Spookley said, we'd like you a lot, Jeff. There's a really hokey movie we're doing in LA called Frankenstein Sings. It's a live musical, and it's the guys Joel Coen and Alex Sokolow. They wrote Toy Story 1. They're doing a hokey movie about getting caught in the storm. And I got to work in LA on a feature film, and what a trip that was. If you get to see that movie, it's the most fun movie. You talk about campy. It's just gorgeous. It's been a wonderful thing. Judy called me a couple years later, not too long ago, to work on a show called Norman Pickle Stripes. It comes out of England, and that's where I got to work with Alex Rockwell. Alex works for Henson. She is as smart as they come, as experienced as they come. Judy and Alex were the showrunners with the producers, and that's a stop motion, came out of England, and I was the music supervisor for that. And that's another wonderful show. I think it airs currently. It's really, really a terrific show that should be seen. So my career branched into 3 different areas, but it teaches you for budding composers. If you'd like to be a songwriter, don't limit yourself to writing songs. You can try to write animation. You can try to do it yourself. Technology's increased so you can do so much now. You can do your own animations. You can do whatever you want. So the joy for me in the 80s and 90s and 2000s, I got to work on a plethora, a ton of really wonderful, wonderful series. My career kind of evolved. I got a call from Skechers. There was a wonderful producer named Elizabeth Darrow to work on a show called Twinkle Toes, a movie. Hip, wonderful people. So my career branched into movies, animation, TV shows, writing with celebrities and all that. And then I started producing content. Content means not just the music, not just the show, but coming up with ideas. I have a dear friend in New York that runs a pet chauffeur business. What he does is take celebrities' pets, puts them in a van, and takes them to the vet, takes them to the camp, takes them to the hospital, takes them to massage. So I started producing a TV show about that, which I loved. We're trying to sell it, but it's a wonderful, opportunity. So that's been kind of the arc of my career. What do I do today? I'm lucky. I still work on TV shows writing music. I work for Spookley the Square Pumpkin. It has a follow-up called Mistletoe, which is on Disney this month. Mistletoe and
Oh,
the
cool.
Christmas Kittens. It's a wonderful show. Joe Trano's a wonderful writer. That comes out. So I do a lot of Spookley projects. I do a lot of theater. I love kids' theater. Spookley is a show that airs in a couple of countries and actually tours. This year, I think it's going to be at SeaWorld and Sesame Place. It's terrific, actually. I'm involved with the production of a musical you might know called Annie. Annie is very famous, the song.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
So I'm involved with that on the producing that, getting that to Broadway and doing a documentary. So I do a lot of projects, and it's been a real wonderful career that taught me a lot. The benefit I was to give advice to anybody out there. What made these shows so wonderful is heart. Um, they were funny, but they were smart, and they all had heart. You felt something. Even Caillou, you got into Caillou, you feel for him. Mom,
Right.
Dad, Gilbert the cat, you felt something. Arthur, you felt for Arthur when he lost his lucky pencil. He felt he was going to fail the show.
Hmm.
It would be
Yeah.
terrible. It turned out not to be.
Yeah.
These shows had a lot of heart, and a lot has changed, I think. But it was a wonderful time period for me to get to work with all these brilliant people like Judy, the Backstreet Boys, Yo-Yo Ma, Art Garfunkel. I've won awards. And so the lucky thing is when you guys told me about this show, I like nostalgia. I'm a nostalgic guy, but I want to look to the future. What's coming up next? I'm not that old where I can't do
Right.
age in music is wonderful. You're never too old in music. You can still learn and write. So it's been a great career for me getting to work with all these people. Um, and I still have a lot of hopes and aspirations for the future. How can I help you guys with questions? I'm sorry I'm talking so much.
No, it's okay. I
No worries at all.
I kind of wanted to know, like, was music something you always wanted to pursue, or like at one point was there anything else you wanted to pursue, or was music always like what you wanted to, work in?
It's a great question because so many families, the kids follow their parents. If your father's a lawyer, you might be a lawyer. If your father's a doctor, you might be a doctor, a plumber, plumber. My father was in the music business growing up, and he sang what's called club dates, which are weddings and bar mitzvahs and corporate parties. And so I was always surrounded by music. My mother's first boyfriend before she met my father was a cellist. So I picked up cello because of that. So I lived in a house of music, of Sinatra, of this. I got out of college and I played at a place called Westbury Music Fair in Long Island. And every week a different actor would come in, a different act. So I got to play for Diana Ross one week, then Burt Bacharach. And that was my music education. Who's coming in now? Oh, it's going to be Earth, Wind, and Fire. Wow, get to play with them. And so that was my background. So the answer is yes, music's always been a part of my life and sports,
Oh,
which I
that's
love.
wonderful.
Yes. Yes, like exactly. Because you already talked about, some of the projects that you got to do, the one that you were already talking about with, with Tasty Time, and another like kind of interstitial like series that you got to do, which I remember too. Can you teach my alligator manners?
Yes.
That was a fun one too.
It was a wonderful opportunity because we're used to 23-minute shows. Animation's usually not 30 minutes, it depends, but 23 minutes. But Disney said, let's do 3-minute shows, really short shows. So you got to do, Judy's a genius at this. How do you convey a message and a story in 3 minutes? You better be concise and you better be good. Music in my world has one job. We serve the role of the writer and the animation. So our job is to support the action. So if a character is sad, the music should be sad. If the character is upbeat, if the alligator is doing something funny, we got to show something funny. So our role,
Right.
she's the boss, not me. We work to support them. So the process is interesting. What normally happens is they'll give us a script and we'll look at the script and try to formulate ideas, themes. What can we do about it? Then we might get what's called a like a reel or just a little demo. so we can see it, the drawings. It's a storyboard, and we see it, and we get ideas of more themes. Then they might do an animated, just rough cut, and we go through the process. Then finally, Alex Rockwell and Judy, the producers, will look at the music and give us suggestions. As a music supervisor, I will spot it. I'll look at Can You Teach Your Alligator Manners or Zafranc and say, this is a quiet moment, no music here, but this needs a little music. So my role is to help the composer, or if I'm writing it myself. It's really critical when you watch a show, guys, see where the music is placed and how it's placed. It's very important. So they were great shows, 3 minutes long. They got to tell a story in 3 minutes, and they did.
Right.
So quite interesting.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now what would you say are some of like the biggest differences between working as a composer, like actually writing songs, and just working as a music supervisor?
That's a wonderful question, because as a composer, I get jealous. We're normal people. But my role is I work for the producer. It's a very smart question. The producer dictates what you need. My role is to make them happy. So let's talk about Arthur. Arthur, the producer was Carol Greenwald out of WGBH in Boston.
Yeah.
He gave
Mm.
the dictates what she was looking for in the theme song of Arthur. And I say, hey, what a beautiful kind of day. We can learn to work together. It's a gorgeous song. She might even come up with some of the lyrics. My role as a music supervisor is to get the best talent I can find. And that's sometimes hard. Maybe you have to go to a bar and get a bar band, or you get music people in a rock group, or you find a singer that you like that writes, you train them a little bit, or they're composers, and you give them the best directions you can. And you say, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an upbeat 1 minute song. And I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day, if we can learn. And you give them the ideas, and you say, you've got a week to give me back a demo. A demo is just a rough idea. My job is to collate them, and I do it blind. I don't let anybody know their names in case they know the name or they know the person. You've got to be incredibly fair. So I get 10 demos in. I present it to Carol Greenwald. Say, here are your 10 demos. Which one do you like? Now, the interesting thing is, a music director and a music supervisor, I want to get the song. I can make more money and my ego. So for that show, I put my song in there. My song was number 7 out of 1 to 10. And you don't put names on. No one knows the names. Carol, which do you like? She'd like number 2 and 4. Both written by the same people, Jerry DeVilliers and Judy Henderson. She didn't pick mine. My job next is to get that song and make it as good as possible. Listening to Carol and the composers. Then my job is to bring it to the best possibility and maximize it. I've got to subdue any ego. I've got to work with numbers and budget, and that's sometimes hard. I represent the company. So, for example, as a music supervisor, I was sent to the country of France to work in Paris on a show called Richard Scarry. A very, very famous show, The Adventures of Richard Scarry.
Yeah, I remember that show. Yeah.
And they sent me with a big check to work with an orchestra in Paris. And the music director was Laurent Petit Gerard. And I get there for a 9 o'clock session, and I'm the big cheese in the room. And I get there 9 o'clock. There's no musicians there. The stands aren't set up. There's no chairs. Wait a second, I'm paying $300 an hour for the studio. Oh, 9 o'clock we come in and we start setting up. No, 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 no. In New York, this is the way it works. At 9 o'clock, we give what's called a downbeat and we start recording. We're not going to take the chairs out of the closet. Well, in Paris, we take the chairs. So, guys, I'm not going to count this. I'm going home to New York. My job is to protect the producer because I have the budget. So you got to do the best job. So the answer is, you got to be a politician. You got to be smooth. You got to be nice, but you got to work for the producer to protect the project, and you've got to subjugate your ego. That help?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, since we're now on a touch base with Arthur, we got to chat with a lot of wonderful people who got to be involved in that, either Arthur and Postcard, because the people who got to be involved, like the amazing, Mark Brown and Peter Hirsch and
The best.
a lot of amazing other people that got to be involved.
Like
Like
his
they
son,
really,
his like Mark's son Tolan,
yeah, hmm
and some of the we've interviewed a
Brilliant.
few of the voice
yeah,
actors.
Danny Brochu and Holly.
He works
Yeah.
on my film for Spookley and Mistletoe. What's funny is
Yeah.
this project, Canada had a wonderful deal that it's for the financial climate, if you work in America, in Canada, you get what's called credits. They want to support the arts. They're a small country, so to give the arts more, they give you tax credits, it's called. It's a funny word, but if you work in Canada, they cut the price down. So instead of being $100,000 an episode, it could be $90,000. So you get, but the problem working in Canada, even though it's financially a little cheaper, it's not New York, it's not LA. You don't have as many people to choose from. In New York, I have 50 people to be a voice actor. In Montreal, it's a small, so what happens is you know kind of everybody. And what was a streak of luck is in Montreal, the voice actors, and in Toronto, gotta be honest, are so wonderful. The people that went Arthur, the kid who played Arthur was actually from Toronto to begin with, but some of the
Yeah.
voices in
Yeah,
Montreal,
I'm Michael Yarmish. Is that what you're talking
Michael
about?
Yarmish was
Yeah.
Yeah.
brilliant. And the voice talent isn't, now you might not have 10 great people to do Michael Yarmish to play Arthur, but you have 3 or 2 to choose from. So that
Yeah.
was a very interesting thing for me to work in Montreal. You're limited, but the depth is not maybe there, but the level of talent, they are brilliant voice actors, trust me. And in Toronto too. New York and LA might have more, but they're not better. No way. The girl that played in many shows in Wimzie's house, she was an Arthur, played Arthur's mom.
Right, Wimsey's house.
Sonia
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, another great show too. Yeah.
Sonia Ball is one of the most talented people in the world. You should get her on your show. She's about 5 foot tall and she sings incredible. She does multiple voices. I can't think of all the names. She was Wimzie. She was an Arthur's mom. She played in Spookley. She's Spookley. She's one of the
Yeah.
talented voice people. She's immensely talented. So the point being, it was unique working in Montreal. It's a wonderful environment, guys. Wonderful.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. And with Arthur, I'm glad that Arthur is like still like has such a huge following now, is on like reruns and all. And and
Yes.
Arthur and the people who got to be involved, they really know how Arthur can be, and not, and like where at times where there's episodes that Arthur kind of to have like a different situation where Arthur like face, and then the other, and that type of where they can solve problems in different situations, but it kept it as like a good manner to kids to watch too, and that makes any sense. But Arthur is a great addition to kids TV, and I'm glad it still gets talked about. So I'm happy for that.
You got to give credit, because I do so much animation, is that everyone has altruistic good ambition, but the people that ran Arthur, her name was Carol Greenwald, who founded it. I think she founded the project, but that's GBH in Boston. And she
Right.
took such pride and she worked so diligently and hard to get the very best writers. So the guys you spoke to, Joe Fallon, Ken Scarborough, Peter Hirsch, all those guys are brilliant writers. Are they better? Really, really good. And they found the perfect menu, the perfect recipe for entertainment, educational, not boring. The characters are brilliantly written. I've worked on a lot of shows, but I've never seen that kind of show that has that balance, that strikes it. They're entertaining, and what made it even more special is you're being educated and exposed, but you're not like bored. It's wonderful. Carol put a real priority on exposing culture, wonderful musicians. I'm in the music field, so jazz, classical, opera, rock and roll, Backstreet Boys, hip hop,
Yeah.
everything for year after year. That's a rarity, guys. It doesn't happen. Sesame Street, I got the chance to work on too, is a rarity. They put the same kind of brilliant work. So you're lucky. There are other silly shows that are, also good, but don't have
Right.
depth. It's a wonderful show, guys. You picked a good one.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. What did you
Of
do for
course.
Sesame Street? I'm curious.
Well, Joe was my guru, and Joe was the music director. So I got to work with him kind of as a ghostwriter, helped him in the very beginning.
Hmm.
And I kind of just worked in the very beginning, and then he passed away. So
Gotcha.
that was my break, really. So not really. I know the guys at Sesame Street, and they were wonderful.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like Chris Surf, and
Chris Surf is great.
oh yeah. Yeah, he's
It's
wonderful.
wonderful. Yeah.
So great. Such a wonderful guy.
It's funny. It's the kids market is small, but the people in it are really talented and really smart. You're picking really good
Oh
guys.
yeah.
Sheriff is brilliant. Those whole people and the people at Arthur were brilliant. But it's a small world, and it gave us a lot of joy. So I have two kids, and part of my biggest joy is these two kids I brought into the world. But to be honest, my songs are played in 160 countries. They're my babies, and it gives me such pride to put on TV late at night to see a show airing somewhere in Europe if we catch it, and it's my song. It's kind of that what I do for kids gives me pride that I help entertain, educate. If they're sad, I can make them feel happy. If they're feeling bad because they're overweight or this or that, Spookley will make them feel like it's okay to be different. That gives me a lot of joy. That's kind of my babies too. So it's a wonderful career
Exactly.
to have if you can work in kids as well.
Yeah, of
Exactly.
course.
So, and moving on to Caillou, because you were talking about that for a bit. How does it feel to you that the Caillou theme song still has a following to this day?
It's interesting because I wrote it so quickly, guys, and it's popular. Um, but it's a good song. And what's great is I think Peacock or Universal or Wild Brain has resurrected the show. It's got a new life, and they kept the theme song. So it's airing now around the world again. If you can look it up, I think Wild Brain has it. Caillou, it's still out there. How
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's so many like videos on the Wild Brain of Caillou, So it's still, and there's like revivals, So Caillou is still going,
how could you
which
pick
is
that?
yeah.
It's that's ridiculous. But I also get flack when I worked at a company called Cinar, and it's a good lesson in life. And the company was the most brilliant, wonderful company, but the owners got into trouble because they got greedy. They were wonderful people. They gave a lot of people careers, and they did things they probably shouldn't have done, and the company went under. And so they had a chance, the media, to make fun of this company. And they're going to make fun of it how? By doing parodies. How are they going to make fun of this company on the news? They took my damn song and they put new lyrics to it, and they put it all over Canada. This company got it up, and they made using my song. And it was so embarrassing. I wanted to sue them, but I couldn't. They took my Caillou song, but it was a well constructed song, so it worked.
Yeah, I mean, imagine they tell you that hey, it's fine to change it up, even
Never
just
asked
to
for permission. But then on the good side, I got a call. I have some fans around the world, and I got an email from someone in Canada. No, sorry, in England says, "Congratulations, your Caillou theme song is being used by either Kodak or General Mills, a big company. Congratulations." I go, "What commercial?" It's being used all over Europe. It's on the net. I go, "Can you send me it?" They send me it. I don't remember the company. My wife would know. And holy, it was the same song. They stole my song. So I start
Wow.
calling my lawyer, and I call the publishing company that owns the rights because it was owned by the publishing company. Would you check this out, please? You can't steal my song. You got to ask permission or something. And guess what? They got me a new car.
yeah,
I got a new car from that. So there was a lawsuit. So people do steal things. They took the Caillou song and stole it from me.
yeah,
But
Wow.
that's a
Interesting.
great song. But I've had other really good songs that people like, and that I've written. I wrote a song called Paddington Bear, which is a beautiful jazz song. Comes out of England. I was a music
yeah,
director in England. One of the biggest shows called the Wombles. If you live in England, everybody knows the Wombles. I was a music supervisor for that show. I told you Wimzie's House, a little puppet show. It was a wonderful show. So
yeah,
each show has its own trials and things you've got to do. And the key to writing a great theme song or songs is you've got to give it its own identity. So Arthur has that reggae feel. So the guy that writes the underscore, there are a couple different parts of a show for kids. If you ever watch, you guys do a lot of writers, but you're dealing with a music guy. So the
Yeah.
three elements
right.
are the theme song is critical. The theme song sets the mood. Arthur is
Yep.
everything when you're walking down the street, and it's got a really joyful message and a really
Right.
joyful beat.
Yeah,
So
just trying to make it like what's the best sound for that type of
Yeah, and the
lyrics.
visuals help too, like, where he's, walking on the street and then, when he
yes,
like falls into the book and then the part where he's like in a pool and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it's a whole different process from like doing things
Yeah,
for music wise than just writing. You have no idea how it goes into between those fields even itself,
Exactly.
you know?
But each song, theme song, should have its own vibe, its own identity. So when you hear it,
Exactly.
you hear every day, but then you hear Caillou, I'm just a kid who's four. It's
yeah,
kind of, but you're going to hear that. So the second part of music, we're teaching people out there about music, is what's called the underscore. The underscore is the music
Yeah.
author is in the library, and you see him. It's got to be. So the composer's name is Rafe Bobby. He's got to do a ton of what's called cues for that. The third part might be internal songs in a show. So if you watch a show like Arthur, there'll be a song called the library song,
Yeah, the library card.
the
Yeah.
library card song.
Yeah, that's a
That's the
great
song of the
that's a
show.
great track.
Having fun isn't hard when you have a library card, written by
Exactly.
Joe Fallon. That's an internal song too.
Yeah.
Those are the three music elements you got to be concerned about. If you watch a Toy Story movie, it's going to have kind of a theme. It'll have songs within there. You've Got a Friend in Me, and it's going to have underscore. So those are the kind of
Yeah.
three things that I work with primarily. Underscore, maybe a closing theme. Are You Afraid of the Dark has an opening theme, but we set the mood for it. So composers have to always be careful. Do something that stands out. Think outside the box. Wimzie's House is a jazz song. Arthur is a reggae song. So they're different types of song. You've got to be creative. Postcards from Buster is a rap, a hip hop.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So now, another thing that you got to do involvement with Caillou, Caillou, the franchise got to do a Christmas film from the show, which is called Caillou's Holiday Movie. Now, what was that like, getting to be part of that, that aspect, for Caillou compared, doing things, from like, usual episodes. Now you're being a part of a Christmas film for Caillou for that film. So what was that,
That's a
comparison like?
question. So it's marketing and financial considerations. Caillou had become very popular. How do we broaden its base? I forgot whose idea, but to do a Christmas movie, the Caillou Christmas movie, was an opportunity to expand the brand and make it a little bigger. So
Yeah.
it's Christmas, it's Caillou. Luckily, I was music supervisor and wrote most of the songs, if not all the songs for that.
Yeah.
And it was a great opportunity for me to spread my wings. But the interesting story for that was I had an opportunity to write a beautiful song, a closing credit song called, and I wrote with a guy named Adam James out of Toronto. And the song was Every Day.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
love that song.
Oh, me too. So
I wrote
beautiful.
the
Yeah,
most
right.
beautiful song you can ever believe every day. And I played it and I wrote it and it had to be in French because there are two versions. In Montreal, our biggest market is going to be French and English. So we got to do two
Yeah,
versions.
exactly.
So my dear friend was named Bill Rattari. It's a good story. And he was at Sony Records. I go, Bill, the song is really good. Trust me, it's going to be great. Do you have any singer? Can I get it to your client Celine Dion to sing? No, Jeff, she's too big. But we just signed a great new artist. Her name is Mary Lou. Mary Lou is a young, beautiful 17-year-old girl with an incredible voice. She's going to sing the song. Great. We bring her to the studio, and she has a terrible accent. So she sings in English terribly, and I had to work so hard to make that song work. And then she sang in French, and it was gorgeous. Guys, I was so proud of that. I knew that was a hit song. I said, Sony, I'm giving you a hit as big as Titanic for Celine Dion. This is great. So what happens is they bring the whole Sony marketing team in to listen to the song, to get them excited, to promote this song throughout Canada. And I've never been more sure of anything in my life. And we play the song in the studio for them. Every day is special. It has modulations and strings. And the guy that did Arthur
Yeah.
shows, Jeff Fisher, we orchestrated beautifully. And when the song is over, I'm waiting for them to shake my hand and cry. And it was silence. It was crickets. Nothing. Not a word. And they go, oh, very nice. Oh, okay, very nice. Oh, thank you guys. Great, great, great. The song went out, and everybody on the internet seen the comments were extraordinarily good. Sony didn't like it for whatever reason. It might have been before its time. Guys, it's one of the biggest disappointments in my life. I love that song. The song is gorgeous in French,
Yeah.
gorgeous in English. Play it now. It's incredible. But for some reason, Sony didn't like it. and it killed me. Fast forward, Arthur had the same idea. Arthur wanted to do a feature film, a film for TV, and I think it was Arthur's Lucky Pencil, or I forgot what the film was called.
Oh, was it Arthur's Missing Pal? Was it that
Arthur's
one?
Missing Pal.
Yeah.
Right. The dog goes missing.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It's a gorgeous film, too. And again, I wrote a nice song called Stars. I wrote it with my brother, actually. And that didn't go anywhere, but we thought it was great. But to work on a long length movie is a great opportunity because it just gives you more just opportunities to write and different kinds of songs. TV is compressed, 23 minutes. You got to get it quicker. But the
Yeah.
songs are really good. So Spookley is also the same thing. But the Caillou movie, one sad story that you guys probably don't know that's interesting is the original girl that did Caillou. Her name was Jacqueline
Linetsky.
Linetsky.
Yeah.
And I worked with her, and she sang Caillou. She was great, talented, 16, 17 years old, a beautiful person. And she worked with me, I think it was that day, and then she had to go to a recording session at another part of Montreal. And she was beautiful and great, and she had a car accident. Somebody crossed the divider, head-on collision, and killed this beautiful girl, and we lost Caillou. And it was never the same.
Yeah.
Great after that. But this was a real tragedy in life that we lost Caillou to a car crash. And I kept in contact with her parents and family. But that's part of life. Tragedies happen. But it was Jacqueline Linetsky. What a beautiful girl. But that was Caillou.
Yeah, such an
Yeah.
iconic show.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, I remember watching that film so many times when it usually air like most of the time, like on PBS Kids Sprout. And it was such a great film. And I remember I got to watch it just last year, just to kind of just to watch it again, because back that time I
You know
haven't
the
seen
question.
it since it's a while. I'm just like, and again after rewatching it, it's such a such a great film.
Right. But the question I get asked most, Jay, is obviously, and you probably got two, you'll ask it, is why is that little brat bald? He's whiny. It's one of the most hated, if you look it up, it's one of the most hated cartoons in kids'
Oh
TV.
yeah.
Look it up.
Yeah,
Look up most hated
yeah,
kids' cartoons.
yep,
The question I get
yep.
all the time, why did is he chemotherapy? He's got cancer and all that? No, in French, Caillou means pebble. So pebble's kind of bald. So that's why he's bald. He's, it's a pebble. So I don't know. Kids seem to like it because he's cute. It's what's called a slice of life. It's very narrow, but they find him whiny. But kids like it. Anywhere I go, I mentioned Caillou, and I like to tell people that I'm a hero. Women adore me all around the world. The only problem is they're mostly between 4 and 6 years old. Kids know Caillou, kids know Arthur, kids know that, but
Right.
that's my age bracket, 4 to 7 years old.
Yeah, exactly. And for you mentioning that you got to wrote like all the the songs for a holiday movie. I mean they're great tracks. I mean, some of them I can like have the top of my mind of what those were remembered. Oh yeah, it was the 8 days to go, where
Yeah.
where Caillou was like saying about it's getting closer and closer to Christmas, and the uh oh gosh, Christmas is not the same, where his mom was like singing it.
Jake, you got to look at me, man. I forgot those songs except for the closing song.
Yeah,
So
every day.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
every
yeah,
day is the song I remember. We write them for, again, you've got to serve the film. So you write it for the film. So Caillou's getting anxious. How many days I'm getting anxious. You write it for that moment. A composer's job is to work for the writer and serve the animation. So that's the job. Caillou had a dog. What was the dog's name? Pal. No, that was Arthur. Pal. Arthur had Pal. Right?
yeah. And
Pal.
Caillou has Gilbert.
Gilbert the
Cat.
cat. Thank you. So we've got a couple albums. So one of the joys also,
Oh yeah, Caillou
I got
albums,
to
yeah.
work on albums for Caillou
Right.
and Arthur, and that was a great joy because they gave me the latitude. I was the producer of the album. So we did films, we did TV shows, but we got to do CDs. And what's interesting about Arthur is I got to speak with Carol, the executive producer, about we want to do albums now because it's a famous show. So Sony Records says, we want to do your album. And we said, you know what, you guys are so big, you're not going to give us the attention. Maybe we'll go somewhere smaller. So we went to Rounder Records and we did the album for Rounder Records. And it was wonderful. They were a wonderful company. Caillou, we did a bunch of records, and guess what? You're too young, but Susan Lucci was a actress in America that lost every award. She went up for 20 Emmys and she kept losing. I'm losing award after award after award. I was up for an Emmy for music direction. I lost that. I won for an Ace Award for Arthur for Madeline. I lost that. I did an album for Caillou, and I loved it. It was great, and I got nominated for the big Canadian award at Gemo, and I finally won my big awards. And that
Oh,
was
that's wonderful.
so. Wait a second.
That's great.
I got my big award if you see it. So
Yeah, that's
the boys of
great.
Arthur, I get some you get certificates for Arthur because I am in the producing team. I got certificates, but the boys from Arthur that you deal with have baseball teams of Emmys and awards. Carol has, she's like the Yankees, and Chris Surf has probably 40 of them, and Judy Rothman has enough, and Alex Rockwell has 30. Lowly me, I've got a couple nominations and I've got some awards now, but they've won awards. They're big names, guys.
Yeah,
Of course. And one more from that, It's Christmas Morning.
Oh yeah, the joy of waking up. It's Christmas morning.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Christmas morning, and it's knowing
that's a good
winter
one.
weather. Yeah.
Very cheerful
Mhm.
song,
This
yeah.
morning and
Yeah, of course.
it's
Yeah,
Christmas morning.
Exactly.
Yes, and the trick for that is how do you write a jazz song, but keep it a little jingle bells and keep that Christmas feel. It's a really good
Yeah.
songs are really good. It's Christmas morning and da 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 da. I put it on my piano and play it for you, but it's a cute song.
Yeah, and
course.
speaking of Caillou, one of our good friends and also a past guest is Pat Fry, the
He
voice of Caillou's dad.
Boris, yeah.
The Caillou's dad was Pat Fry, or was it Bruce Dinsmore?
Yeah.
It was Pat Fry. Bruce Dinsmore was Arthur's dad.
Arthur's dad. Thank you. Also wonderful. What's interesting in Montreal is that this small nucleus, you don't have on a baseball team, you have 25 players. In Montreal, you have 11. They're great, though. They're great. That starting team is great. Jennifer's on it, and Sonia Ball's on it, and Bruce Dinsmore's on it. So they do a lot of
Yeah.
shows, and they continue to work. If you can get some of those, I will set you guys up with pleasure. But Bruce is beautiful. One of the most funny guys does every show, named Rick Jones. You'll find him. He's the comedian. He's like Jim Carrey. He's so funny. So get him on. He'll keep you in stitches for 4 hours. Rick Jones, on every show. I promise you. He's kind of retired, but oh my God, he'll keep you. He is that funny. I'm sure he's been in Arthur, Caillou. They're terrific people. They're great.
That's
That's
great.
great. That's great.
Toronto's a little bigger and there's more to choose from, but Montreal is a jewel.
Right.
It's just great.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Absolutely. And Pat Fry, he's so great, he's the best.
We have a movie called Spookley, and one of the guys that plays the character Big Tom is this big guy with a funny voice, and he plays a really weird. And he's one of those Montreal elite guys. And my friend Joe called me up last night. He goes, "Put on this movie. It's called. It's about maple syrup. I forgot the name of it. It's on Netflix or Amazon." And sure enough, Montreal actor there. I'll think of the name, but it's incredible. His name is Michel Perron. And Michel Perron is another one of those guys you should get. Funny, brilliant people. Pat Fry, funny, brilliant. So they're wonderful people. They're crazy, though. Animation voice people are crazy because they have to have no inhibition. Musicians are like a little, and we're careful, we're different people. But if you're a voice actor, you got to be open to the public and this, and they're great.
Oh,
Have them
yeah.
on.
Yeah,
sure.
of course.
I would try Rick
Absolutely.
Jones. Rick Jones and Sonia are just the best.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Since you already talked about the Spookley series, what was it like getting to do the sequel?
Spookley,
Kind of like transition from to that. Pretty much, if that makes any
so
sense.
well, guys. Spookley reaches millions. Spookley in October, and it did so well that they came to us. I think it was Disney that said, "Can we do a Christmas?" And so Joe wrote a beautiful Christmas story, but kids want Spookley, but he wanted to open it up about a green cat. And the green cat lived in the Arctic, Santa Claus, North Pole, excuse me, not the Arctic. And he was Santa's cat. And for some reason, when he sneaked into Santa's sleigh And when Santa was dropping off toys, he fell, didn't get hurt at all, and he landed in a farm. And he was trying to find out because he got a little amnesia. Where's he from? And it's a beautiful story about this Christmas cat who's colored green, trying to find his way home. And he meets Spookley. And so it was another opportunity to do the Spookley ecosphere, our world, and write songs about it. And it's a beautiful movie that's airing this month on the Disney Channel. I believe it airs on Netflix. But if you do YouTube TV, you build a brand like we did with Arthur, and Spookley has shorts, it has puppet shows. Mistletoe, we're working on shorts. We do shows for that. We're working on an Easter special. The fun for me is we have a touring show, which is live theater. Spookley plays around as a live theater venue. So it plays in Minnesota, around the country. And right now we're working on a Mistletoe and the Christmas Kittens Christmas musical. I was talking this morning about it to Joe. We're writing songs about that. So when you have something that's a hit, you want to expand it because kids love it. But the trick is they love Spookley, so you have to have Spookley in there. So we're doing, it's an interesting concept. What Joe has is he does holidays. So Halloween is Spookley. Christmas is mistletoe. He's got jelly beans for Easter. He's got Beacon the Firefly for July, 4th of July. So that's his kind of concept. So it's a great show. Look for Mistletoe. It's a really good movie. Good songs too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah,
So
looking forward to seeing that.
yeah, so now since we're kind of getting close to wrapping up here, if you're allowed to share anything, what are you working on now?
Um, I'm lucky, guys. I live in a town in New York called Sugarloaf, and Sugarloaf's this beautiful community that's kind of rural and has a performing arts center. So because of my background, I'm able to produce concerts at this place. I just had wonderful string players come up and play Vivaldi's Four Seasons. So I produce shows. I'm still writing with Joe Triano. We're doing Spookly shorts right now that are on YouTube TV. Check them out. YouTube TV, Spookly shorts we're doing. They're beautiful 1 minute episodes that are gorgeous. Joe and I are working right now on a Christmas theater piece. We're doing that. That's really exciting. I work in theater. I work
Yeah,
on content, and I've been blessed. I'm working with the people that do the show Annie. I'm bringing that to
yeah,
Broadway. We're doing a documentary on Annie. So my life is kind of split between my community, where I do a lot of work and I do stuff in music, still doing TV. I still produce things, and I love writing. So my joy is wearing these multiple hats. I have a piano, I have a synthesizer, I have so much software here that my joy, there's nothing like it, guys. For the musicians out there, there's nothing like getting up in the morning and starting with nothing, a blank piece of paper, and coming up with a theme song like Are You Afraid of the Dark or Caillou, but
hmm
da, 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 and then growing it and planting the seed and planting it and bringing it to a demo and then making it to real and then getting the singer to sing it, then finishing it and mixing it, then marrying it to the picture. Then it goes around the world, and then 10, 15, 20 years later, you can walk down the street. Last story. I'm in Africa. I'm on a safari with my kids. We're having the best time in Tanzania. And the owner of the company goes, well, who are you? Well, I work in kids TV. Are you well known? Oh, yeah, I'm pretty well known. Not me, but my shows. You won't know my name, but my shows are really, really well known around the world. No, I don't believe you. He goes, believe me. I go, okay, you want to, I'll prove it. He goes, next pair that come down, just ask, let me talk to them. He goes, well, here comes a couple now, a couple kids. I go, hey, excuse me, we're in Africa, guys. We're in the middle of Africa. I go, you ever hear Jeff Zahn? They go, no. Did you ever hear of the show Caillou? They go, we're from Canada, dot, 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 dot. And they sang the Caillou theme song in Tanzania, 3,000 miles away. They knew me. What about Arthur? Oh, every day when you're walking. And the owner looked at me, who are you? They couldn't believe it, in the middle of Africa. So that's my joy. Those are my babies in Tanzania in a jungle, camp. They knew who I was. Not my name, but they knew these songs. So I continue
That's
to work.
wonderful.
I can't thank you guys enough. It's been a lot of fun. Certainly follow up. But my advice is to musicians, follow your heart, be creative,
yes.
and write, write, write. If you
Or
go
as
into
Of
Arthur
course.
says in the theme song, believe in yourself.
Exactly.
Because no one knows. People told me years ago, you got no talent. When I was like 19, 20, I played my songs for somebody. He goes, you're terrible. Really? And I didn't believe him. And I kept writing. So don't believe anything. But what makes the internet so wonderful, guys, is you can create content. Take a picture like behind you, your show, and write a theme song about your show. Get people to write theme songs for your show. It'd be great. I'll write a theme song.
That'd be cool.
We love writing. That's so wonderful. Write. It's a snowy day in New York. Write a snowy day song. Take some pictures and marry the song to the images. Create content. It's the most joyful thing. And the end result is you don't know, because technology, with a computer now, you can do anything. Drums, guitar, violins, get it on the internet.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, one day your shows will be in Japan and Ecuador and here, like mine. So
That's wonderful.
Exactly.
That's wonderful.
to help you. But watch Arthur, watch Caillou, definitely watch Spookley. This month, watch Mistletoe. You'll see my name, Jeff Zahn, but more important is I hope I made some of you guys happy.
Exactly.
Of course, and we'll do. So thank you for that. And looking forward for more what's next in store.
Exactly. So the last question that Jake's about to ask is a question we ask all of our guests at the end. Go ahead, Jake.
Yes, thank you very much, Chris. Of course, podcast called Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. When you think of nostalgia, what do you think of? Or in your own words, how would you define the word nostalgia? Or what does nostalgia mean to you?
It's funny. It's a very important question because it's 2024, almost 2025. As a musician, which is what I am, the songs and the music that touch me the most, I look for craft and excellence, are the songs from your era, the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I'm a little old, so guys like James Taylor, Michael McDonald, Kenny Loggins, the Beatles, all the early, that stuff, not because it's nostalgic, because the craft is so good. I like the shows. I'll put on Walton's. That's a beautiful show from the 80s or 70s. That's nostalgic. It doesn't make me feel old. I like the craft. I love new stuff, but the new stuff has got to be great. And so nostalgia to me is a euphemism. It's a synonym sometimes for great craft. These have wonderful stories. Today's shows, I'm not into Marvel Comics. I think the shows are too built on pyrotechnics and special effects. I love a good story. If that's nostalgic, sue me. The music from Arthur and Caillou are beautifully melodic, memorable. Today, if you listen to rap songs, if you listen, it's different. The song, there was a great episode, I think it was on the Grammys, that talked about from then to now. And they did a look back at the music of the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and they started with Simon and Garfunkel, Sounds of Silence. They went to James Taylor about You Got a Friend. They went to this, that. And the new songs, guys, which is so trite and silly, I'm not putting them down. There's some good stuff, but the craft wasn't there. The craft that Carol Greenwald and Kenny Scarborough and Peter Hirsch did is immense. Quality is quality. So be careful. Nostalgia for me is quality. If it's quality, some of the shows, the Caillou movie had a lot of quality. Not nostalgic. It's really good.
Exactly.
Of course, yes. Thank you so much.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. This was an absolute blast.
Was I efficient for you guys? I did.
It was awesome. It was a really fun chat.
It
was a great pleasure talking to you.
With you, Jeff, and thank you so much again for doing this. And looking forward to what's next in store for you. Glad we got to make this happen.
Be in touch,
appreciate
guys.
it.
My pleasure.
Yes, absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your day, Jeff. Enjoy your holidays.
Correct.
Happy holidays to you too.
Yes. It's goodbye from us as well. We absolutely enjoyed our time with Jeff Zahn. Links to where you can reach him will be in the description down below. Keep on the lookout for more wonderful interviews coming your way. Jake, take us home. What do we say?
Yes. Keep nostalgia alive. Take care, everyone. See you next time. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another wonderful Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episode. Be sure to follow Jake and the Happy Nostalgia team on social media, check out our website, and stream the show wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And as always, remember to keep nostalgia alive. Bye-bye.